So you guys, I don't give Sunny Hostin enough credit, and today she proved to me on The View as to why she is the co-host of The View. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome to JOA. If new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I'd really appreciate it if you do subscribe and you click the bell. If you're new to my channel, I do post daily videos about The View or any type of trending stories out there. Please do like and comment and share on this video. I also ask icebreaker questions, and today's icebreaker question is, y'all, I'm counting my blessings, but I gotta be real with y'all, okay? I don't own this YouTube channel. This is my channel, but I don't own the platform, okay? So I'm thinking about starting up my Patreon, which is a membership site where I can take my viewers from YouTube onto another platform, so to where I could be more freeing with my views and my thoughts without being afraid of being censored by this channel. So my question is, for you watching, would you guys be open to spending $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $7 a month on that membership site? Of course, there's going to be perks that come with it, such as giveaways and such as videos from me from that channel, more personal videos as well. So different kind of content as well, giveaways, shout outs, as well as when I get better equipment for this channel, I can have someone like you guys come co-host on this channel, JOA. We can do that. That can be a perk as well. So there's going to be different perks out there. So, but there's going to be also, I was trying to see how I want to price it because I don't want to leave anyone out. So would you be open to, giving me some of your coins, $1 a month, $2 a month, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, whatever. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I know money is a very sensitive, touchy topic to people, which I really don't understand why, because I'm a very direct person. But let me know in the comments below what you think about that. So I want you guys to watch this clip, and I'll come back with some more.
I think President Biden ran on having no deportations in the first 100 days, and now we are seeing a crisis at the border. And you don't have to believe me, you can believe facts. And the New York Times just reported that the children along the border have tripled in the last 2 weeks to 3,250. Of that, 1,300 children were jailed longer than the maximum of 72 hours permitted. Of that, 169 of those children were under the age of 13. This is being described by the New York Times as a, quote, jail-like facility. The American people aren't stupid. They know that the difference between a jail-like facility for children and kids in cages is pretty much the same thing. And I think part of the problem is President Biden said and ran on a kinder, gentler immigration plan, and that's obviously not what's happening. And I really need to emphasize this is not a conservative talking point. If you don't believe me, believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has absolutely been hammering President Biden on this issue, and I applaud her for being honest about this, for holding her feet to the fire to a Democrat president in the same way that she did President Trump. I would love other Democrats to take her lead on this as well. As Anna said, this is a serious and nuanced issue. I too am for comprehensive immigration reform, as I think anyone who grew up on a border state is, but I also am not for a floodgate of open borders where we are housing children in these facilities, quote, jail-like facilities, in the absolute most inhumane kind of godless experience that I think all of humanity has to offer. And this isn't evaporating. It's not going away. And I think there was maybe an idea that with a new administration that this border crisis would somehow turn into something different. And it's really just more of the same from the Trump administration. And Jen Psaki has conceded that it's just as much of a problem.
Okay. Sunny, do you think this is Biden's biggest challenge?
I think it's going to be one of his biggest challenges because the Trump administration left this country in such a mess, right? And so you have sort of the global pandemic, which I think was the most pressing issue, which actually now the Biden administration, I think, has handled really, really well. But when you think about this notion of kids in cages, I think that's a distraction. I think that conservatives and Republicans are using it as a talking point to imply somehow how that the Trump administration's approach had been right all along. And we know that that is incorrect. That approach was a disaster. It was inhumane. And what the Trump administration was doing was ripping children from their families, from their parents, from their guardians, and then placing them in cages. What is happening now is different. These are unaccompanied minors. These are minors without their parents, without their families. And we know as mothers that it takes a real crisis for a parent to have their children travel and migrate to an unknown country for a better life. And President Biden has said that the real core issues, the root causes of migration are crime, corruption, and poverty. Those are systemic issues that we have in this country. And so this is a very difficult issue. I think the real issue, though, is a lack of migrant housing, right? And so they are being held in these facilities that are cages. They're adult holding cells. They shouldn't be held there. But there is, I think that Biden administration is committed to handling this in a more humane way. There is no comparison to be made with the way the Trump administration handled this crisis at the border. And the reason there's more of a crisis, let me just say this very quickly, the reason there's more of a crisis is because people knew that the Biden administration would be handling their children more humanely. That is why we're seeing the uptick in migration here.
It's also
that
because
is exactly why they're coming here.
No, it's
it is
also
a problem, but I have my money on Joe Biden. I feel that Joe Biden has empathy, and I think he'll figure this out. We'll talk more.
Seeing the opening in this and people have to pay drug cartels
maybe
up to
that's
$3,000 to go over, and that's also what's going on. Drug cartels
okay,
see
well,
an
we're
opening.
going to find
I'm
out
from
soon.
Arizona.
Give the guy a chance. Give the guy a chance, Meg.
So to those of you that do follow me on Twitter, I did call this out. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should at Jordan Show. That was my previous YouTube channel name. That's the reason why that's my username on Twitter. But I did call once this hit the news that there's actually way more migrant people trying to come at the borders than any other president or just basically comparable to the Trump presidency. I specifically said that this is going to be a Meghan McCain talking point. And this is before The View talked about it because I knew she's going to come on. And I also knew she was going to address AOC, who was very outspoken about the situation, criticizing not only the Biden administration, but also the Trump administration as well. Of course, Meghan McCain is going to use AOC because she is of the Democratic Party and is one of the most powerful people in the Democratic Party, one of the youngest people in the Democratic Party in New York. She represents New York. So she's very critical about this whole situation. And so basically on Twitter, there's a facility that is located on Carrizo Springs in Texas. And it is used to hold children at the age of 13 to 17. And these holding capacities are up to 700 children. And so AOC, and I talked about this before, basically said, and I'm reading here, that only 2 months Biden is now in this administration, and our fraught, unjust immigration system will not transform in that time. DHS shouldn't exist. Agencies should be reorganized. ICE gotta go. I like how she said that. Ban for-profit detention. Create climate refugee status and more. So what I also liked about in that clip that I just showed you guys on The View is Aaron Navarro did proposition some interesting thoughts and interesting points on how this should go, because Aaron Navarro fled communism, so she is the perfect person to even illustrate on what to do and what to go on. And also, you guys have to remember that Sunny Hostin, although most of her talking points are about Black America, she is, part Latino, Puerto Rican, which that also give and take is something, even though Puerto Rico is a part of the United States of America. But in my opinion, they aren't treated as such. Just look what's going on in Puerto Rico. And so literally what people of color, what people who are in the low socioeconomic bracket here, essentially with education, with poverty, with healthcare, are the same essentials that people in these border states, these Latino border states are going through. I, for one, also come from a family, I'm Palestinian, that had to migrate from Palestine to Jordan, to the Jordan Valley, due to of course, the apartheid that is still going on till this day. And so the majority of my family on my father's side, like all my father has like 3, 4. I don't even know. I'm not even in contact with that. So I can't even tell you off the top of my head how many siblings he has, but it's about like 6 siblings total. So my aunts and uncles on his side, and my cousins and, people who I really don't even talk to are overseas. They're in Jordan. And so a huge part of my family fled, they fled Palestine to Jordan due to the apartheid going on. And so a lot of people suffer from that because you have to start over. You have to find schools, if there are even great schools left. You have to plant crops because maybe the scenery in your area, maybe there aren't any stores or grocery stores for you to buy fresh fruit and vegetables. So there's things they need to do. But in other places like in Mexico and these other Latin countries where they're high in drug cartels, they're high in gang members, where these people who are trying to come here for a better life, they don't have those things. They don't have those essentials to do those things. So I really just wanted to give credit to Sunny Hostin, and because I really don't at all. I don't think I ever gave credit, and her talking point today on The View is the reason why she's there. And so, of course, Anna Navarro as well did a really great job too. I think Meghan McCain failed to realize that back in 2018, Trump implemented a zero tolerance policy, meaning that if you even try to come to the border with your family, that you're going to be prosecuted. And I'm even going to say this, like, you may lose your life. And so there were situations where families were stripped from another. One father committed suicide in jail. And of course, the autopsy report as to why he passed away wasn't 100% truthful. And so there was a woman who was breastfeeding her child that also was at the border, and she was stripped away from her kid as well. So you do have to remember during 2018, Jeff Sessions, the U.S. Attorney General, did enforce a zero tolerance policy on immigrants that are trying to go to the border, and they were being treated inhumanely. Okay, so there is a big difference that the Biden administration is doing that compared to what the Neanderthal Trump is doing. There's a huge difference. You can't even compare it because one is treating these people as if they're humans, and the other skunk is treating them as if they're a piece of rats in some type of scientific lab being under clinical trials. You see what I mean? So there's a huge difference, and I think Meghan McCain failed to realize. She also failed to realize that Joe Biden, I told you guys, I don't like the man, but I can give it, like, if I don't like you, but you're right, I'm going to speak the facts, and like, I'm not going to be biased. Like, she failed to realize that this man only been in office for 50 something days. And so you can't practically, rationally, you can't even reverse everything that has been done within the past 4 years that the Trump administration has done. Like, I don't even think you guys that are watching me realize how badly these immigrants who were trying to cross the border were being treated by the Trump administration. Like, it was horrible, like literally horrible, as if these people literally had no rights, as if these people were just some type of rabbit in the woods and you're trying to hunt to be fed. That's how they were literally treated, okay? So I do apply to Biden administration. I do also agree with AOC. I do think there needs to be, I don't care who's in the House. This has been a long time coming, and for decades, the immigration system has been literally horrible. So I do agree with AOC that I highly disagree with these facilities. I think they need to do a little bit more better. I think a big portion of this money should go to immigration reform and try to establish some type of better notion in how to get this together. And I think The View needs to talk about this more, and so we can really educate and have a better understanding on how to make this look better. pushing forward. So anyways, that's my whole thoughts on the situation. Of course, Meghan McCain, I knew this was coming with her talking points. I mentioned it on Twitter that this is going to be something she's going to use on the show. And what do you know? I was correct. Been covering her for a long time. You know, I think I know her brain by now. But anyways, y'all, please, I really do appreciate it if you do let me know what you think about the membership site. You know, I don't want to be self-reliant on this YouTube channel. I've had bad experience to having me in the past to where I had to reapply to be monetized, and like literally, like I get a good, you know, to the point where I couldn't even get paid anymore. So I mean, it's the views I get literally. I'm not talking about cents here. I'm not talking about hundreds of dollars. I'm talking about a lot of money here. So I don't want to be self-reliant. So I would really do appreciate it. Instead of me doing a join button, a membership here on YouTube, I would actually like to do it on a Patreon. So please, I'd really appreciate if you do let me know if you are willing to do that, and tell me the number amount, because I'm trying to do a little survey here. And thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. This is a blessing. A lot of people aren't doing what I'm doing, or at least trying to do what I'm doing, and they aren't really getting the numbers that I'm getting. So I'm very grateful, and I wholeheartedly mean that. So thank you so much. Please do subscribe, click the bell, so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Deuces. Yay! I'm about to get close to the camera. I have ears, you see? You see? I have ears, yeah.